Uh, I think it's working now. I think it's working now. Oh my god, it sounds so muffled. Oh my god, it sounds so muffled. Hold on. Oh my god, it sounds so muffled. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know if it sounds any better because I can't hear it. There's an echo because I had my YouTube up, but I didn't think it would capture it. But now I can't hear what it sounds like. It sounds muffled, right? Hold on. Is that better? I can't hear anything, so... It's the same? No? Okay, hold on. How about now? Bro, I don't know what happened. It's still the same. Um, Default. Okay, I wonder if it's not my... No, it has to be this one. Hold on. How about now? Clear but still muffled. I don't know what to do. No, my mic, I didn't do anything to my mic. It just woke up like this. I don't know. Try tapping. Oh shit, hold on. My mic is connected to something else. Hold on. I think it's the webcam mic. Because it's, oh wait. Yeah, because when I tap it, it's not doing the thing. But my mic option isn't on here. Hold on. When I hit this, does it echo? Do I got the reverb? Oh wait, hold on. Hold on, my thing isn't on. Hold on.
Okay. It should be on my mic now. All better. We did it. So I plugged the webcam into my headphone stand. My mic is ridiculously low. Also, Orange, welcome Niaho. Sorry. Yeah, it was a webcam mic. And Simon, welcome Niaho on the YouTube side. Hello, hello. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't ignoring y'all. I was trying to figure out the mic situation. But my mic is so... I've noticed that the volume of it is really low. Maybe this is better now? I don't know, but it's turned like all the way up. But I could, and I turned the gain all the way up. So I don't know what to do. Is it louder now? Okay, cool. Alrighty. Oh, now I could catch up on some comments. Thank you guys for being patient. Oh, you saw my preview on Instagram? Do you like it? I'm really nervous. I'm super excited. Oh, the message alerts? Why is it all attached? It shouldn't be attached. It's okay. How is it now? Is it still like loud? Bro. I don't know. My OBS woke up and chose violence. I'm sorry. Is it too loud? Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I'll turn it down a little bit more. How about now? Yeah, reinstall Instagram. Do it. I could show you like a really horrible version on my phone. Show you a Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Hugh. I made a separate YouTube. Oh shit, I don't have access to my keyboard anymore now too, because when I plug my keyboard into my headphone stand, it disconnects my mic. It routes my mic up to my webcam. So hopefully when I unplug the webcam, when I plug my keyboard back in, everything will be okay. So, but I can't use my keyboard right now. So honestly, I should just move it out of the way. Do I have anything plugged in? Oh, I have my mouse. See, I have my mouse plugged in down here. I don't have any USB things because Rini threw up in one of mine on my tower, and it constantly makes it disconnect and reconnect. So I don't know if any of y'all want to post, if you know where to find it, the link to the dance cover. You can post it in the chat. But the YouTube channel is just Ainya Idol. I've been meaning to add it onto my YouTube channel, but I want to do a lot more dance covers and stuff, and I'm like, maybe people won't want to see it, so I'm like, let me just make a separate YouTube channel and stuff for people that don't mind the immersion breaking, if you will. But we're gonna watch Street Fighter beginner videos and Aki tutorials while I'm doing this. And hopefully you could hear them too, because damn, I literally woke up and chose violence. Thank you, Doug. That's a waiting room. It's gonna drop tomorrow for my birthday at 4 p.m. I think it's 4 p.m. PST. I think so. I think that's what I made it. Yeah, 4 p.m. PST. So yeah, it would mean a lot if you watch and don't judge me too hard. I'm so nervous, but I've been wanting to do this for such a long time, and I'm getting old, damn it, so I'm not gonna let my dreams be dreams. So yeah, I can move my phone over here. Let me press on this. Dun 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 dun. I'm still a young star. Oh my god. Thank you. I'm turning 16 times 2. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, my Street Fighter video that I'm watching. Okay, let me know if you guys could hear this.
Street Fighter 6 journey in this video will serve as your foundational guide. Whether you're looking to improve
I could hear it now.
and grow consistently.
I don't know if y'all can hear it. Did it get rid of my... It did! What the heck? Properties. Oh no. Alt. Okay.
As a player, or whether you want to get quick and dirty wins right now, this video will set you on the right path.
Right?
My name is Brian F. I've been a competitive Street Fighter player for over
it's so
a decade,
weird. It's okay. I could still hear the Yoshi sounds. What the fuck happened to my OBS?
I was also a coach in the very first Sage Jam Slam for Street Fighter 6, where I was able to successfully coach players like ヴtuber to become the most feared player in her division, and also players like SK, who started the game from scratch and went on to become Master Rank.
Let's go.
And this brings us to our very first point, which is to clarify your goals and vision. Now, Doki and SK, two amazing players who had very different approaches to how they wanted to learn and practice Street Fighter 6. Both of them started as brand new players, but the difference in approach between them was immediately extremely clear. Doki gravitated towards a much more play-by-feel approach. She wanted to use modern controls to be able to instantly get into the game and start using all of the powerful special moves that her character Zangief had access to, and wanted to understand the game on a more intuitive level and have fun, and ended up actually dominating the competition in that manner. 𝒔, on the other hand, likes
and
to
then
approach
I got
from
these
the other
star
angle. She
stickers
likes
for
to
when I
understand
complete
all the
the
technical
goal.
details about the game engine to set up a runway for her to grow in the long term. And both of these approaches are extremely valid.
Yeah,
For 𝒏𝒂𝒕, she was
stickers.
able to quickly understand the mind games with 𝒖𝒑𝒐𝒏 and his SPD-based meta, and went on to be the most feared player in her division, and 𝒔 was eventually able to grind all the way from rookie to master rank in about a month. So as we progress through this video, ask yourself, are you more like a 𝒏𝒂𝒕 or are you more like an 𝒔?
I don't know which
your
one I
own
am.
preferred approach and
4K,
learning style
why
can
not
help
both?
clarify your goals. Do you want to dig into the engine and the technical aspects of Street Fighter and set up a runway to learn over the long term? Be more like 𝒔. Do you just want to play and get into the action and learn intuitively as you go and have some fun? Be more like 𝒏𝒂𝒕. As we go through the rest of the video, this decision will help color your expectations
style
for
if
each
I
one of the
just
points
wanna,
we get
like,
into. The first step to getting started is
brush
simply
Dream.
picking a character that looks cool to you. This might not be your permanent main, and based on your goals, whether you want to win in the short
no
term or
los
prepare
dos?
yourself for the long run, you might actually end up picking different characters. But the first step is to pick a character that motivates you to open up the game,
But I don't
want
wanna
to
play modern
a little bit of
controls.
practice. The next step is to select your control scheme. This is a major crossroads in your journey. You have two choices to choose between, modern and classic. In classic, you have access to your character's complete moveset, but have to perform the special moves and supers by doing the full command motions. Modern control scheme, on the other hand, has access to one-button specials and one-button supers. It eliminates the need to learn all of the complex special move inputs, which can be a real hindrance to players first picking up Street Fighter 6. In exchange for the ease of execution, you actually do lose access to a few normals whenever you select your character, and also any special moves performed with the shortcuts and supers have reduced damage. Which one should you pick? It depends more on your approach. If you identify more with the 𝒏𝒂𝒕 version of intuitive gameplay and are looking to win now, I highly suggest picking modern. That's not to say that if you have more of an 𝒔 mindset that modern would be the wrong choice. It's just that modern does allow you to more immediately get into the mind game aspect of Street Fighter 6. Let's go, 𝒏𝒂𝒕!
The freest match I've seen!
Ooh, that's
If you find
satisfying.
satisfaction in practicing your execution and want to have access to all normals and have no restrictions on your gameplay whatsoever, then Classic might be the control scheme for you. Just know that for many beginners, learning to execute special moves and supers in Classic does take a fair amount of practice. For many people, they might find this to be very mundane and repetitive because it essentially is, but some people really enjoy that. Me personally, I enjoy the execution side of fighting games, so I don't mind practicing it for the extra advantage. Both control schemes are extremely valid and both have their pros and cons, and both are very suitable for even high-level gameplay. While most pros do use classic controls, there are many high-level pros that use modern as well, and both are very deadly control schemes. Remember, at the end of the day, it's about how strong the player is, regardless of the character and control scheme.
That's as clean around as you can get a perfect for Tachikawa.
Once you've selected your character and your control scheme, boot up training mode and just press some buttons. Here you can get used to moving around and using each of the different directional inputs, left, right, up, and down. Get a feel for how your character walks around the screen and how they jump. Next, you can try out their normal attacks. With classic controls, you have 6 normal attack buttons to choose from: light, medium, and heavy punch, and light, medium, and heavy kick. With modern controls, they
Like
simplify
a
this to a
piano?
light, medium, and heavy attack button. You can modify the attack you get out of this by holding the auto combo button
I
while
don't know.
pressing the
I've never
attack
played
button.
piano.
Next, you can play around with some special moves. Every character has access to different moves. You can check their move list in the menu to see what special moves they have available. If you picked modern controls, congratulations, you're closer to winning right now. With modern controls, all you have to do is press the special button with the direction to get access to one of your special moves. You'll have access to 4 different special moves by either pressing the special button with no direction or with left, right, or down.
This.
With classic controls, however, you'll be introduced to one of the many different archetypes of different special move inputs based on the character you selected. You might be practicing doing the special move with a quarter circle into a button, a half circle into a button, maybe a DP motion, or a full 360. Try executing some of the special moves and see if you like what the character does on screen.
Yeah,
Once you've
on a
settled on a
keyboard. Thank you for
character
the
and control
hydrate,
scheme you want to start with,
Also,
it's time to
Nyachi,
learn a
thank you so
little
much
bit
for
about the
gifting
flow
Fabian
of Street Fighter
what's up?
6. The
Thank
goal
you.
of Street Fighter 6 is obvious. It's to deplete the life bar of your opponent before yours gets depleted in return. The flow of the gameplay is centered around controlling space, sort of like a fencing match.
Got
You
stickers on
generally
me.
use your attacks to prevent the opponent from approaching you and to allow you to gain more space. Whoever wins this spacing battle often wins the game, as they push the opponent into the corner where they are unable to adjust adjust their spacing to avoid the range of your attacks. When you have the opponent cornered, you have the luxury of walking forward or back when they cannot walk back any further. This means you have more advantage in adjusting your space to either bait out their moves to cause them to whiff punish them, or to pressure them with your attacks and eventually go in for a throw. The throw is the mechanic that makes Street Fighter work. While blocking does defend against nearly all attacks, throws are the mechanic that beats blocking. The general rule of defense in Street Fighter is that everything can be blocked by holding back or down back. 90% of the time, your defensive home position will be holding down back, as most moves are blocked in this position. The only moves that cannot be blocked by holding down back are a select number of overheads and jump-ins that hit from above. To block these moves, you have to hold back. With that in mind, when you're on the ground and the opponent is pressuring you, holding down back will defend against nearly everything they can throw at you, except for a throw itself. Regular throws are a universal mechanic. Every character has access to them. If you're blocking, but the opponent gets in range and goes for a throw, they will throw your block. To defend against this, you can simply not be in range of the throw in the first place, or you can press throw a few frames after they go for the throw, and you will perform a throw tech. The key feature to understand here is that throw teching is a guess. You cannot react to a throw. You have to predict when they will go for the throw based on how close they are to you and their offensive patterns. This is why you are playing the fencing battle to keep the opponent out of range. If they get in range by winning the fencing war, they're able to go for throws, and then you have to guess when the throw is coming. If the opponent never goes for throw, blocking is extremely powerful and will defend nearly all of their attacks. These are the basic rules that govern Street Fighter's main game flow. However, the exceptions to these rules are extremely powerful and are where you should focus the most attention early on. If you would describe the fencing battle jockeying for positioning to be able to land a throw as the meta of Street Fighter, the meta breaking techniques are the ones you want to learn right now. These meta breaking techniques include things like jumping. While you're busy playing the proper fencing battle on the ground, the opponent can simply just hold up forward and land a jump in. This jump in can lead to significantly more damage than your safe pokings ever would in a single interaction. So it's very powerful to understand how they work and eventually how to use them and stop them. The other meta breaking technique is DI. This is the beginner friendly mechanic to learn. DI stands for Drive Impact. It's one of Street Fighter 6's core mechanics. This is a universal move that everyone on the cast has. It's a forward advancing armored attack. It can absorb up to 2 hits from the opponent before clashing into the opponent. If the DI makes contact with the opponent when they're in the middle of the screen and they're not already in recovery of a move, it's really not of much consequence. However, because it does have these hits of armor, it can be used while the opponent is pressuring you. This is when the trouble begins. The punish counter DI will trigger a big zoom in and slowdown effect, and it'll leave you open for an entire combo. On top of that, while DI is mostly not consequential if you just block it mid-screen, if you are near the corner, it will cause you to splat into the wall, also leaving you open for them to perform a combo. Because blocking by itself is so powerful, DI is one of the moves that makes it so that you can't just always sit there and block even when you get pushed to the corner. Think of Drive Impact sort of like a jump scare reaction test. Drive Impact is reactable. If the opponent sees you going for a Drive Impact on them, they can press their own Drive Impact in return. This will actually turn the tables in their favor. They will absorb your Drive Impact and hit you with the punish counter Drive Impact instead, and they will score the combo. So while Drive Impact is considered a high-risk, high-reward move, it is extremely powerful in the beginning phases of your Street Fighter journey. Other meta-breaking techniques include character-specific special moves. While most characters and their normals are centered around this sort of fencing-style approach, some characters break the mold with their special moves. Look at characters like E Honda. E Honda uses a ton of headbutts and butt slam to fly across the screen and attack and harass the opponent from many different angles. While E Honda is generally considered a weak character at high level, because he has these moves that are able to fly across the screen and attack from any distance, it gives beginner players a really hard time. He's definitely one of the best picks to quickly win. Another example would be Zangief. While Zangief is also good at high level, he has access to an SPD, a spinning pile driver. This move is a command grab. It's a special type of grab that only Zangief has access to. And as we mentioned, grabs beat blocking. Zangief's SPD is able to grab the opponent from very far away and do a ton of damage. He also has access to a very easy anti-air lariat to stop people from jumping at him. So this brings us to our first beginner strategy. Whether you're a Doki or an Eske, this is the strategy you should focus on. In general, focus on building your offense first. Daigo had a really good analogy for this. This is like adding more cards to your deck. You need more tools in your toolbox when you first get started. Down the road, you will focus more on defense and learning how to counter other people's offensive tools, but learning to overwhelm your opponent with your offense first and getting your game plan executed before they even know what's going on will help secure you more wins earlier on in your journey. And if you want to go full Doki, as I alluded to earlier before, you're going to want to do things like pick up modern Zangief or modern E Honda. In my opinion, these are the two best characters if you want to win as a beginner right now. But even if you choose to go the SK route, there are still some considerations to make. SK initially wanted to learn the game using Chun-Li. While Chun-Li is a fairly strong character at high level, she has several aspects to her character that can make her hard to pick up for a beginner. For one, she features charge moves. Her fireball requires you to hold back for a few frames before activating it, and keeping track of that in an active match can be very difficult. She's also a stance character. One of her special moves gives her access to an entire other moveset. All in all, Chun-Li did not really suit what SK was looking for, even though she's a very technical player. Instead, SK eventually settled on Juri. While classic Juri is not as cheese-orientated as modern Honda and Zangief, Juri is a much more straightforward classic Street Fighter 6 character. Juri has really easy to implement pressure and really easy ways to condition the opponent to block to set up her throw pressure. At the end of the day, you need to pick whatever it is that inspires you to pick up the controller and keep playing. However, if you want to win in the short term, there are definitely better choices to fit that goal. Jumping is an extremely powerful meta-breaking technique, even all the way up to the highest levels. Because the reward from jumping can potentially be so high, focusing on stopping jumping becomes a priority for higher level players. Stopping a jump-in is usually done by performing an anti-air. An anti-air is usually an attack that is used explicitly to hit somebody out of the air when they go for an offensive jump. Learning to anti-air is an extremely important skill to develop as you progress as a player, but most beginners do not have strong anti-airs, so learning to utilize jumps offensively is extremely rewarding early on, and is definitely something you should take advantage of. Learn the ranges where your jumps are effective. Try to make sure you don't actually whiff your jump in. Generally, if you're at a perfect spacing for the jump to land on top or right in front of the character, you might jump in with a heavy punch or heavy kick. If you're a little bit closer to the character, you might jump over their head and go for a cross-up jump. A cross-up jump is actually a jump that hits on the other side of the opponent and would force them to have to block in the opposite direction. Experiment with your specific jump-ins and ranges and learn when to press the buttons to actually hit the opponent on the way down with your offensive jump. Learn to use DI both on offense and defense. DI, as I mentioned before, is a high-risk, high-reward move, but if the opponent does not know how to counter the DI, you should not stop doing it. If the opponent is pressuring you too hard, go ahead and press DI. You might armor through their attacks and get a free combo in return. Is the opponent clamming up in the corner and blocking? Press DI. They might get hit by the DI and get wall splatted and also net you a combo. DI forces the opponent to slow down and stop pressing too many buttons. It also forces them to sit there and react to your DI. If the opponent shows that they're able to counter your DI with their own, that might be the sign to slow down on using it, but until they prove that they can do that, do not be scared to use this mechanic. And while your main strategy as a beginner will be centered around implementing these offensive techniques,
I got hit
that makes learning the
like
counters to these techniques equally as valuable. One of the main pieces of advice I gave to SK that really helped level up her defensive understanding of the game
kept on
is
getting
the
hit with the drive impacts.
Generally on defense, you're
just
only
like,
scared of
me,
eating
coward.
a throw. This is the main motivating factor
But they
behind
just kept
why
on
you
doing
don't want to
that
sit there
I
and
didn't know
block
how to
forever. Because if you're blocking
react
normal
to
forever,
it.
they can eventually walk in and throw you. However, one thing to keep in mind is, if you block enough moves from your opponent, the space will be created where they can no longer throw
I know you have
Their
to look
throw
for
will
like
simply
what
whiff.
when
They're going to have to
like
walk back into range and risk getting hit by one of your buttons in order to get that throw. Therefore, your reward for blocking long enough successfully is the relief of the threat of throw. We can put this into a really practical strategy with the 3-block rule. If you hold down back and block 3 normals from the opponent, at this point you can stop holding down back and start holding back instead, and walk away from their pressure.
I wish I knew
After
what he was
block
talking
these
about
3
too.
normals from the opponent, they're going to have to walk really far in to be in range for a throw. So don't be scared when blocking, especially mid-screen. The worst thing that can happen if you block is you get thrown. Getting thrown always does significantly less damage than getting hit. This is where the meme "take the throw" that Street Fighter players have coined comes from. While you can't take throws forever, if you literally just only hold down back, the opponent is forced to constantly go for lower damage options. So don't be scared to sometimes block, especially mid-screen. Block 3 attacks, hold back and walk away from the pressure, and reset the situation. The next I alluded to before is to counter your opponent's DI. At the beginner level, tons of people love to spam DI because if it hits, it does so much damage and it blows through people's strategies.
Don't I
so
know
if you
it?
learn to sit there and wait to see the opponent start to flash with their DI and press and counter with your own, you can shut down many spamming opponents. This is where learning your character-specific combos comes into play. If you land a counter DI, you should do the most damage possible to them. If you play a character like 𝒉𝒂𝒕, for example, all you simply have to do is press the special button right then to land your SPD for a ton of damage. If you're playing on Classic, however, you might have to learn a more specific combo. The next tip is key for defense, and this was one of the most difficult things to drill into 𝒐𝒑𝒐𝒏, SK, and everyone on the team's head. That is to back roll on wake up.
Oh, I want to practice
Wake up
this.
is the state where you get off the ground after an opponent does a move that knocks you down. For most knockdowns, if you don't do anything, your character will perform a quick get up in place. This is the default behavior of the game, and it is bad in most situations. Quick get up often leaves you really close to the opponent after they knock you down, which lets them get in for easy pressure, and also often sets up this really cheesy cross-up scenario that beginner players love to spam. The easy solution to this is to do back roll on wake up literally 100% of the time. You will learn the exceptions of when it's better to not back roll at like a really high level, but as a beginner, I'm telling you, back roll every single time. It will make your life on defense so much easier. On a common knockdown, the back roll will just simply get you away from the situation. And if they're going for that cheesy cross-up scenario, if you back roll, they're going to be in front of you and you can actually anti-air them. If you don't do the back roll here, they're going to get a nasty cross-up and you're going to be in a bad defensive situation. To perform a back roll, if you're using modern controls,
go to bed, it's
simply
fine.
hold
It's
two
okay.
attack buttons
I
as
hope
you
you
hit
feel
the
better.
ground
My
from the move
birthday's
that knocked you
tomorrow,
down,
so thank you,
or you can
thank
mash
you.
it to attack buttons instead. If you're using classic
Appreciate
controls,
it.
you simply hold two kick buttons as you hit the ground, or you can mash the buttons instead. Make sure to drill this into your muscle memory. You should be always back rolling every knockdown. Either mash the buttons, hold it, whatever it takes for you to remember this, so that as you hit the ground, your character rolls back away from the opponent so that you alleviate the pressure and you can get back to playing the game. And the final most important counter, and this does not change no matter what level you are, and this is a lifelong journey, is anti-air. The grounded footsies fencing battle of Street Fighter only works if the opponent understands that you actually can anti-air them. The moment the opponent catches on that you are not able to actually react to them with an anti-air when they jump at you, all respect is lost. They will be holding up forward for the rest of the match, getting free pressure and potentially free combos because you're not able to anti-air. Learning to anti-air is a lifelong journey in Street Fighter. It seems so simple at first because all jump-ins take over a second to react to. Clearly, if this was a simple reaction test with like a light on the screen and pressing a button, you would react every time. But because your attention is split between so many variables, you can be like a deer in headlights when someone holds up forward and jumps at you out of nowhere. Anti-airs are not universal, but there are some general patterns with which moves anti-air. If you're playing modern 𝒉𝒂𝒕, for example, you just have to use his lariat. It's a one-button anti-air, very easy and effective to use. If you're using modern with Ken, he has his Shoryuken. It's a one-button anti-air as well. It's air invincible, will beat all jump-ins at the right angle. Some characters also have dedicated normals that have a good angle to stop people when they jump. This is where character-specific knowledge comes into play, so I suggest looking at the specific tutorial for your character to understand which options are best for you to anti-air with. And that concludes the advice I have specifically in this video. And the next step on your beginner journey is to continue to practice and seek out more resources to help where you don't understand.
That's
I
what I'm
actually
doing.
do recommend the in-game tutorials to learn a lot more about the specific mechanics of Street Fighter 6. They can be a little dry, but if you have a question about how a mechanic operates, you might just find the resource for it in-game. There are also combo trials in the game. Not all the combos are the most optimal or the best combos to learn, but it can give you a little bit of an idea of how a character operates. And of course, seek out guides on YouTube to answer more specific questions about your character. At the end of the day, being a beginner is about focusing on the quick wins. Whether you're more like a 𝒐𝒑𝒐𝒏 trying to play intuitively, or more like an SK trying to digest the technical aspects of the game and the system mechanics, it really comes down to finding how you prefer to learn and finding the character that matches your style. And that's all I have for this video. Hopefully this helps you with the beginning of your Street Fighter 6 journey. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace. Okay, I'll add more stickers later, I think. Right now, I think there's like, it's like complete blank down here, but that's fine. We'll add more later. I want to be able to fit all my stuff. Let's go to what happened to my playlist. Oh my god, my sister's gonna die with this. Ooh. A play.
If you're looking to begin your to the stream, you like Aki. If you're looking to begin your Street Fighter 6 journey, this video will serve to the stream.
Okay. He's pointing at me again.
You like Aki and you want to take her to master rank, but you don't have the skills to do so yet. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 6 easy to implement techniques that I personally use to quickly flowchart with the character and rank up to master rank, and that with a little bit of practice, you can apply as well to level up your Aki and quickly start getting some W's in ranked mode. The first technique to implement to level up your Aki quickly and develop a decent flowchart is to use standing heavy kick anti-air, but with a little bit of a twist. Now, the number one thing is make sure you know how to anti-air the character in the first place. It's super important. Aki has several options to choose from. She has her standing heavy kick, her crouching heavy kick, and quarter circle forward heavy punch, which all cover slightly different ranges and have different uses. And, you know, the quarter circle forward heavy punch is really strong once you have them poisoned because you get combo extensions. But to be quite honest, I didn't use this move as an anti-air when ranking up the master. It's not required to do so, but it's definitely something that you're going to want to implement later on to, you know, unlock her full potential for sure. The technique that you might want to copy paste here is using standing heavy kick as an anti-air canceled into fireball. So here JP is going to whiff 2 jabs and jump in at me. I'm going to anti-air with standing heavy kick. So pressing standing heavy kick, you know, that's all good and everything, and it does a decent amount of damage, and, you know, anti-airing is absolutely required. You must know how to anti-air on command if you want to rank up. What makes this more powerful is cancel that to fireball. It's pretty strong because it immediately puts them in block stun, and then you can start applying pressure from there and maybe approach behind it and just get a bit more momentum behind it. Some people would also maybe recommend doing the anti-air into poison puddle if they're not already in the poison state. You can choose to do so, but I feel like when you're trying to just rank up with to master rank, just having the fireball on the screen and canceling from that is super powerful because it'll just lock people down, and then maybe you can drive rush behind it and get more pressure, potentially set up a overhead or a low mix-up. No, they're not in that much block stun, but usually most people will sit there and you know, they won't try to move after, and you can potentially get combos from it and get big damage that way. So standing heavy kick to fireball, it was one of the techniques I used over and over, and it was really powerful to help me rank up quick. The next Aki technique to implement to quickly rank up is a simple frame trap, which allows you to get a lot of pressure and potentially combos. The basic frame trap is stand heavy kick on the ground, cancel to coward crouch kicks. So this is, you know, very straightforward, and it's a very, you know, very strong frame trap, which allows you to get a combo on hit. You can combo that to crouching jab.
I think I'm gonna put
into quarter circle forward heavy punch,
here,
which is very good because the quarter circle forward heavy punch allows you to get Oki after, right? This is going to be your main combo ender, especially if they're not in poison state already. And if you end this combo, quarter circle forward heavy mid screen, you can do maybe a medium kick slide to approach, and you're +5, and you can get pressure. You can also do a double dash here and get B +6 and get pressure as well, regardless if they quick rise or back roll. So this basic frame trap is super powerful because so many people want to press buttons when they see Aki go into the coward crouch. Now, to be fair, this is negative on block. If they end up blocking the sequence, you're -3. But a lot of people don't know the frame data on this yet. You can try delay teching defensively after this in case they go for a grab, or you can even try guessing with a perfect parry. To be quite honest,
but I don't
a lot of the times
I know there's silver, gold,
would get perfect parries in the situation where people try to take their turn back.
Is it silver, gold, platinum?
And if you get the perfect parry, you can get a combo extension there and get your Oki as well. So it's pretty powerful. But on top of that, once you finally condition people to stop pressing buttons once they see this tool, she has a command grab out of the coward crouch as well. So this will open up the option to do coward crouch from heavy kick into the command grab. Now this is not a really legit technique because If you simply delay the jab, I think it's like a 10 frame delay.
I'm not going to be a legend.
It's like a 9 frame delay. There is a perfect timing where you will block the counter crouch kicks, but you will also still interrupt the jab, or sorry, still interrupt the command grab. So if someone is aware of the Aki matchup, they can do this delay fuzzy defensive jab to beat both options. But this, I spam this essentially on my rank up to master rank, and hardly anyone ever got consistent at interrupting this timing, and it got me a lot of free wins. So I would definitely incorporate this into your game plan and see how they respond. A lot of people will end up just getting hit with this, and then you can start getting the combos and pressure. Or if they really are just blocking it out and you notice that they're blocking or parrying, you mix in the command grab as well. Tip number 3 to quickly rank up with Aki to master rank. This one is huge. This is going to be like 95% of the neutral that you do with this character, to be quite honest. It is very spammable and very abusable. It is, of course, the almighty fireball into drive rush. This is what you're going to be doing in so many situations. It's so free. I mean, this is consistent with like a lot of characters in the game. Ken has this. Jury sort of has this as well with her fireballs on the ground. You have 2 options. You can go into the crouching medium kick after, or you can go into the overhead, and both lead to a full combo conversion. So overhead here, the overhead is slow for Aki, so you have to press it kind of early relative to other overheads from drive rush in this game. But if you get the overhead, even without counter hit, say they just get hit raw for some reason, like they're just not blocking, you can combo to stand medium punch from the drive rush overhead. So that will be 7 frames on hit, so you can even do, you know, crouching medium kick, but I don't know why you would do that. But just drive rush overhead, stand medium, quarter circle forward punch, and of course, if they're poisoned, you know, you get more extensions from her combos if she's poisoned as well, so you can get more damage. But that's going to be the basic combo that you're going to choose. And then, like I said, mid screen, you can then do double dash to approach after landing the quarter circle forward heavy punch ender, and get Oki, get a potential throw mix up. Or like I like to do was the medium kick slide, and then you get an auto time throw there. Very strong. Or of course, start piecing things together. You could also do.
That's pretty
do your
smart.
frame trap, stand heavy kick to the counter crouch kick, start piecing it together. If you go for the low option instead, this is super strong as well. You can also combo to stand medium punch. Crouching medium kick here, you stand medium punch, will combo, and do the same route. If they're poisoned, you get more extensions. You should know what to do if they block these, however. On block, the low and the overhead aren't very plus. So this is only
if I do this 5
plus
times,
1
I want to be able
from,
to go, like,
from drive rush low. So you're going to want to go into crouch jab here. And I believe the overhead is also only plus 1. Oh, sorry,
I want to be able to physically
so overhead, you have more options. You can instead do the standing light punch target combo. This is the 5 frame jab. And then you can end that in something like quarter circle back heavy punch. Know the options that you can do on hit and block. And then set this up. Drive rush behind it. Start getting the pressure. I mean, drive rush fireball is just universally extremely strong in Street Fighter 6, and Aki is no exception. Her fireball is slow, lets you set up things behind it, and then of course you can even potentially do things like drive rush into throw, like if the spacing is correctly.
There we go. Now there's a start date on here.
So a drive rush throw, of course, is an option. So you get high-low throw mix whenever you set this up. So this situation is super common to land. I would often just go for this combo conversion. So if you have the drive meter to extend the combo, instead of ending the stand medium punch to the quarter circle forward whip, instead you can drive rush cancel the stand medium punch. It's a stand medium kick, heavy kick, coward crouch kicks, jab, quarter circle forward, heavy punch, ender. Lots of damage to be earned here for pretty much free. Drive rush fireball is super strong and kind of mindless to just throw out, so definitely abuse this. Aki tip number 4. This one becomes more apparent the more you play the character, but she has very short range on her faster normals and her mediums, and her best range mediums are not special cancelable like her stand medium kick or her crouch medium kick. So it becomes very apparent that like you don't get a lot of strings with her up close. And what becomes an issue is that, you know, your lights are negative on block, so you end up ending your pressure if they don't get hit up close, and then people tend to take their turn back and start pressuring you. And so you don't want to end in negative frames this close to the opponent. So her best way to end her block strings is very important to implement. It's quarter circle back heavy punch, this bubble here. You can see here, even when you do it point blank, it adds a lot of pushback. So if I add a little bit of distance here, it is -4 on block if you look at the frame meter here. But because because of the pushback, and most strings is going to make the opponent's moves whiff. They're not going to be able to connect with Aki unless they press a very slow, long-range move. So basic block strings, you know, like crouching light kick, crouching jab to the bubble will be safe on block. If they try to interrupt too early, of course, they're just going to get hit. If they wait till the end of the string, they're just going to get pushed out. And this is strong because it sets up spacing traps. So being at negative frames is not that big of a deal if you create enough pushback. This is like a universal Street Fighter concept. And because you're the one setting up the string, you can have spacing traps where you memorize the spacing and know the advantage and know what options they're likely to press and know what options you can press in return to whiff punish them. So it's pretty powerful to set up strings like this. You know, you can start buffering after, do things like crouching medium punch buffer to quarter circle forward light punch after. But in general, that's what you're going to want to do. Like say you get like a drive rush low and they block it. You can do something like a drive rush low, jab into the bubble. That way, if they press any buttons, you know, you're going to frame trap them because the drive rush low is only +1. The fastest move you can have is your crouching light punch. You can't even do light here. Like her lights have so little range. It's pretty tough. So knowing these block strings is important. And then you can set up, you know, buffers after. So this will make your life so much easier because this will be a problem that you run into when you play this character for sure. Same thing with the overhead. Overhead, you have a bit more plus frames, so you can do the jab target combo. And you know, same idea, right? Just start doing buffers after.
Intentional anti.
Very strong technique. You don't have to buffer after. You can just, you know, end it there and go back to neutral. But you don't want to end your strings up close like this and then be negative, and then people start taking their turns back and pressuring you. End your strings when you're unsure of what to do, and quarter circle back heavy punch, it resets to a more favorable positioning, where then you can set up something with a different approach, or, you know, back up, throw, fireball, drive rush back in, and start your offense from a more favorable position. Tip number 5 to quickly flowchart your mastering with Aki. This one got me so many free wins and so much free damage. It's Aki's safe jump setup, which you apply after the quarter circle forward heavy punch ender when they're not poisoned, and you get like a grounded combo like that. You can do this mid-screen. I'll demo it in a bit. I'm not a fan of it mid-screen personally, but in the corner it's so strong. And all you gotta do is do the quarter circle forward heavy, hold up forward, and then do jumping fierce punch. And that is a safe jump where you're able to do a jump in for pressure and also block reversal moves. Make sure to not do down heavy punch when you do this, because that'll give you Aki's jump cross up command jump in, and this will just always whiff in the corner. So just, you know, do jump heavy punch without holding any directions, and you can go to holding down back on the ground. And then you can apply some of that block string pressure, which I demoed earlier, or, you know, go for a potential throw mix up here. Why is it good? If you don't really know what a safe jump is, let me show you why this is so powerful. You're allowed to get a jump in where you're able to block fast reversals like Ken's EX Shoryuken right there. And of course, if you block the reversal, you have a big combo ready to go. It's super powerful to have this. And for some reason, when I was ranking up, everyone would just eat the safe jump. They would just simply not block the jump in. I think it's because it happens so late that people would start holding down back. You press the jump in very late.
On a scale of 1 to 5,
I swear to you, so many people would just eat this jump in and let me get a free combo after. And the free combo does a ton of damage and gives you a lot more pressure. So for some reason, this technique just makes people explode in the corner. Like I mentioned before, you can do it mid-screen. The problem with it mid-screen is you have to react to which way they decide to tech on the ground. You know, you can choose recover in place or recover backwards. So if they recover in place, you actually need to do the cross-up version, the down heavy punch jump in to do the cross-up jump, because your regular jump fierce will simply just whiff here. And then if they recover backwards, that's where you do the one I demoed before, the regular jump heavy punch, and it'll hit in the front as normal. But you have to react to which way they tech as you hold up forward, and I find that to be very difficult. So I don't do that personally mid-screen. I just do MK slide, or I will do double dash instead to approach on the ground to get pressure. But in the corner, super strong. Copy paste this. I guarantee you people will just start eating this jump in, and you'll get free combos and tons of free pressure and damage. And some people will even do reversals, letting you get big combos and damage. So make sure to apply this. It will help you level up quick. All right, quick tip number 6 to quickly level up your Aki to get to master rank. This is going to apply after the safe jump that you took from the previous tip. This combo is going to detonate the poison, get you a lot of damage in case they eat the safe jump, and set up some pretty safe meaty pressure to keep the offense flowing. So go ahead and copy paste what you see here. So apply the safe jump and go into your combo.
I can't do all that, Brian, but okay. I'll get there.
All right, so this combo is very, very powerful, and this is what you're going to do if for some reason they do a reversal on your safe jump, or if they just eat it for no reason, which a lot of people tend to do.
I recently just
this
found
combo
his
does
videos.
a decent amount of damage, and also if you notice the way the combo ended, it was
like,
pretty strong
as
really, well. So once you get the safe jump going,
and
so after this situation,
he's really easy to listen.
I tend to do jab jab if you're trying to hit confirm this because you're not sure if they're going to get hit. If you're confident they're getting hit, or if they block a reversal, you can start with like a heavy kick instead.
I became Filipino
basically,
that
you
night.
want to get into the quarter circle forward heavy punch to begin the combo route. So if you know they're getting hit, you can do heavy kick, coward crouch into the kicks, jab upper, or just do jab jab if you're trying to see if they got hit or not, because you don't want to do this on block only if they get hit. Quarter circle forward heavy punch will then proc the poison, activate the poison detonation.
Did I say
launch
in
them,
like 5
and
consecutive, and then it's like I only put
you will
a star
juggle with
if I
quarter
win
circle back
5
heavy
in a
punch,
row. That might be
and then to keep the juggles
difficult,
going.
That might make me feel bad.
After that, you're going to do
just
dry
put win
brush heavy
5
kick,
ring
cancel the coward crouch,
I've been listening to Diaphone too.
and then
They kind of look the same.
cancel the coward crouch into the punches ender, which does this knockdown. And
Like,
this
they both have a
knockdown,
similar
when they're in the
face
poison
shape.
state and you detonate it, it gives you a lot of knockdown advantage and potential juggle states there as well. So with that knockdown advantage, you have a couple of options. So the option I first demoed was doing, this ender here, which is quarter circle back medium, and then quarter circle back light punch, which sets down the poison
I think I have one of
cloud, and then
Diaphone's
gets a
videos.
meaty
Yeah, the next one coming
fireball
up is one of
on their
Diaphone's
wake up.
video, and then the other one I have on here, which I started kind of listening to today, was one by Broski,
So
but
let's say
it's
to
2.5
stay here.
hours long.
And if they get hit, you get a combo there. And if they block it, you're actually very plus. So you're plus 12 there.
There's one
plus
video
enough
of
to do
Brian's
something
that I was
like towards
watching,
heavy
and I
kick,
got distracted
which is
because there
a
was like
plus
these
on
two
block move.
massive spiders on the back of his wall. And I was just kind of
So
watching
say
them
they
move
are
instead
so
of
foolish
listening
as
what he
to
was
then
saying.
try to take their turn back in this
And I was just
situation.
like, I want to take the spiders.
Poison down. Oh, how silly. They try to take their turn back
Justin
after the
Wong is
fireball.
a good person.
Towards heavy kick will then frame trap them.
In-person
and
coach
you'll be
from
able
what
to
I've heard.
combo.
Oh.
The counter hits you can do stand
Yeah, I
medium
wonder if I
punch,
could
but
find it.
you don't even need to do that. You can just do crouching
It
jab
was just
here.
like one of his random videos.
And
I think he
if
was
you're noticing
popping
where this
off,
is going,
like he was
it's
replying
looping.
to a comment or something, and I was just like,
can
"Oh,
set up
there's
the
a spider!
same
Oh, there's
combo
another
again."
spider!"
Look at that. So this is a very strong, airtight, just basic kind of vortex-y situation here. So I would definitely recommend copying and pasting this. And this is also powerful for other reasons, which, may not be apparent here. Say they want to wake up level 1. Well, remember, you're doing a meaty projectile here. And if you know anything about level 1s in this game, they lose to projectiles. So some level 1s will, for hurtbox reasons, actually move forward on wake up and go past the fireball. I know Aki's level 1 and Ken's level 1 will just dodge this setup, but JP's level 1 does not. So if you do meaty fireball, it's safe to level 1s. And think about a character like JP. His other reversal would be something like OD Amnesia. And if you've been paying attention to what OD Amnesia does, beats OD Amnesia as well. So essentially this setup beats every single wake up option JP has except for level 3. Level 3 will beat this. So until he has level 3, you can just kind of run
Parry
his
spelled
offensive
with
pressure,
an E or an A?
and then it'll all just loop into itself.
E-E-R-R-Y.
So pretty powerful stuff. If they
Parry.
actually respect the towards heavy kick and start challenging later, remember the towards heavy kick is also plus on block. So the problem with that is you're left at kind of a weird spacing. So it's not my favorite thing in the world if they block this. You can do stand medium punch, which will actually trade with jabs. and then your plus from that situation. I don't think you can really combo in most situations, so depending on the pushback and the trade.
Oh, I loved watching her videos.
Yeah, so her lights are too short, but you know, you're plus there, so you can still keep the pressure going in case they block with stand medium punch. And you know, like I mentioned before, if they end up blocking the sequence, do something like stand medium punch canceled into the heavy punch bubble. You're -4, but now you're back at this range. You control in the corner and keep them pinned down with your normals. So that's a super powerful offensive option from this combo. And one other thing I didn't mention, I did hint that the fact that there's other enders for the sequence besides going for the quarter circle back medium into the fireball. And that's because you can just
every time I come into her stream,
for big damage. So let's go ahead and check that out.
She always watches at least one of these videos of this dude just like chugging a soda.
So this state right here, this tumble state, it's not just a knockdown. You can juggle there. So if you have your level 1, end in level 1 for a little bit more damage. You can even end in your level 2 for a bit more damage. Or, you guessed it, level 3 for a bit more damage. So this is a good route to combo into any one of your supers if you need to tack on more damage at the end of a combo. But even then, there's more. You can also extend this by doing something like drive rush, crouch heavy kick, and then get more damage that way. You know, cancel your level 3.
I've seen her watch that guy, and then there's also a guy that
like level 1. So there's options to extend this as well if you want to go for just raw damage or for setting up
like
Oki pressure. So it's super powerful, and you know, it keeps going. There's even more options if you really want to piece it all together.
Fast food, like he sits on it or something, and then like judges it. Oh, is it still eatable? Okay. Execute DI reaction counter.
So there you have it. If the moon and the stars align, you can really run that safe jump plus combo extension plus a safe poison puddle plus fireball pressure. And if they wake up super, get tons and tons of damage and style on your opponents that way. And there you have it, 6 easy to implement techniques that can help you develop a fairly competent flowchart to quickly rank up to master rank. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
You really cracked. Aki is a character that excels in space control, using her fireball to control the pace of the match. This space control leads to strong setups, strong offense, and high damage combos, as many of her moves apply poison, which gives bonus effects on hit and gives damage over time. If you're looking for a character that has a variety of options for all levels of play, and honestly is just a blast to play,
you know what would be a fun one? Make someone rage quit.
I'm Make someone top level player in multiple fighting games.
Someone already did that to me.
Recording the number 5 Aki in NA
and I heard
on
that's
the
bad
leaderboards.
etiquette.
And this guy will go over normal, specials, combos, strategy, and more. So feel free to skip around. Timestamps below. But if you want to learn the character to its fullest, I recommend you watch everything.
Someone already did it to me. I could put a star on there.
Oh, he got caught reaching so hard.
And I think it's because
so Aki's normals, her lights are pretty standard across the board compared to
it might
other
not
characters.
be enough.
So
it just as long as I could get one
normal, this is what you're going to be mashing
like
out
one
pressure,
little section all cute and start out, we're good.
Goes into
but I was doing like
crouch
Aki
light is
it one of, I mean,
you pretty much just use this as like a low option
like slithers
for
on
like
the ground
non-drive rush situations. It's really fast for the range it goes. As you can see, this is quite a long-reaching normal. You can do stuff like drive rush.
I just kept on doing that because they were spamming.
That works pretty well. Or if you're just like trying to do like a low option on their wake up, crouch light works.
They just kept on spamming
stand jab. This is your typical like if you need the stand jab and
so I just kept on slithering underneath it.
Dragon Lash or Dulcim Teleport. This is where you're going to be using stand jab for mostly. It also has a target combo out of it. So this target combo is actually quite good.
And it's like
it's
slither under it.
Which means it gives you a full combo.
You know,
you can also go in the drive rush. It's hit confirmable.
Yeah, I ended up winning that match.
It also naturally frame traps.
And then
so all these
he literally was
really,
like
really good,
hovering.
And they are, but oftentimes like it's a really awkward
he was hovering over the play
to
again.
Use it because if you're in pressure, you're just going to be mashing jab.
Like he was contemplating it, and then he ended up quitting. I hit play again,
plus on block,
and then he just hit quit after I made my selection. He was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, let's play again. And he quit.
Let's say for the heavy kick, you're +2, so the stand jab will
it's a
frame
learning
trap, and that frame trap
experience,
gives you a lot of time to hit confirm. Other than
you
that,
kept on spamming a move at me. I learned how to
where you're
get around it. So you should try to learn how to get around my slither, right?
Aki stand light kick is like most stand light kicks in the game. Generally
like
using it for
when
like space control.
I was playing
it's your furthest reaching
Strive.
light
I was in
at
ranked
5
in
frames,
Strive.
so you
and
can
I
see
was
this actually
playing
reaches
Elfelt,
quite far.
and it's when
So it's
Elfelt
pretty
kind
good
of
for
first
like
came out, and I kept on doing the Rekka against this Mei.
But at the same time, her stand medium punch
and
is so good
the Mei
that
player
I don't end
couldn't
up using
figure
stand
out
light kick
the
too
timing
much.
of how to
And so
break
let's talk
the
about the
loop.
stand medium punch.
And then they
So
came into my
this is
chat
6
because I was
frame startup compared
streaming.
to
And then
stand
I
light
was
kicks
just
5
like,
frame, but you can see
oh, do you want to
get
play?
so
We
much
could play
extra
together.
range
And
from
then
the
I ended
stand
up setting up
medium
like
punch. It's way
a
easier to hit
private
confirm, you get
room
more damage.
for us.
So generally, I'm
him and I
using
played
stand
until
medium
he
punch a
figured
lot
out how
instead of
to
stand light kick. And this is
preemptively
probably my
get out and
go-to
defeat
stop
it.
drive rush move.
And then I was
if
like,
you're
there
really
you
on
go.
point, and
Now you
generally
can
you're,
see
like,
that I'm
canceling
actually a
this
bad
into your own
player.
drive rush and go
I'm
for a
actually
full
not
combo.
good. I was just relying on that move.
Special cancelable can be used in combos. A really common situation I'll do is like, let's say you get a counter hit jab, you get a combo like this. Nothing too crazy, but is a good amount of damage, and you'll be using that a lot. There are places where the stand medium punch is really good. Is like, let's say people are doing pressure like this, like after you block a few jabs, because the stand medium punch is so fast, you can interrupt a lot of stuff the opponent does, and then of course you can go in the drive rush and be safe. Really good, normal, really disjointed, really fast. You'll definitely want to be using this one a lot. Crouch medium punch, furthest reaching cancelable normal. Good for whiff punches. So like, let's say they're whiffing here and you have the meter to spend on drive rush. Very strong. Think of this as like a really quick whiff punish tool that's also cancelable and pretty easy to make yourself safe with. Also decent for like stopping far drive rushes as well. Stand medium kick. Now this looks like it'd be a decent poke. I don't think it is. And this is kind of like one of the weaknesses of Aki is your mediums are not the best for space control. So this isn't cancelable. And it's pretty slow at 9 frames. It doesn't even like have the best range. So pretty much like most characters in the game have better medium normals than her for space control. Where you will use this is like up close for pressure. This is very advantageous on hit, and so you can get a lot of good combos from this. The other place is like for drive rush combos. This is like your go-to drive rush starter.
First star
After
on
you
the
drive
board.
rush here,
This goes out to that Ryu player.
You're in perfect throw, shimmy,
we were just in
range.
rank placement.
So think of stand medium kick
serious.
as like a close normal that you'll use sometimes.
But thanks, homie.
Oh,
You
crouch
helped me
medium kick. Now, this
accomplish
crouch
a
medium
goal.
kick's okay.
Much love.
It's again not really something you throw around in neutral that often because you can't really get a combo from it. It's not cancelable. So where this is used is mostly from drive rush, right? So one of Aki's game plan is to make them block a fireball and then do high and low. So this is your low option.
Yeah, let's play.
And obviously your high option is your overhead, which is down forward medium
nice
punch.
job, yeah.
And so you'll be using crouch medium kick a lot, but mostly from drive rush in order to mix up the opponent. Crouch medium kick cancels the super. Oh, that's so funny. I feel like I never use
someone wanted that.
Right?
That's the entirety
Yeah, it's
of
really
the
rare that your medium kicks are
region.
just super cancelable.
No.
That's cool. Is this level 1 cancelable?
So just get filled out.
So if you're ultra big brain and catch a walk back, I guess you can do that. What combo did you get out of drive rush, crouch medium kick? Oh, just
reinstall
you
it.
do this in the
Play the game.
Nah, you just get like something like this. All right, so if the mediums aren't good for pokes, what are your
blows
pokes?
my mind
And I think your primary poke is this stand
people
heavy
tell me
punch.
that
This
you
move
know,
is
they're
really,
watching
really
me
good.
or
It's
talking
not special
to me and they
cancelable,
go,
but it's a
I
target
wanna
combo
buy
out of
it.
it.
Oh, you're making
Which
me
you just
wanna
press
buy
heavy
or
punch again. And
reinstall it.
it
I'm
seems
like,
really
me?
risky. This is
I'm
minus
making you
on
do
block,
that?
minus 15. So you absolutely
I'm
get
just a
punished.
little
But this
guy.
is easily, I won't say easily hit confirmable, but with
I have
practice you can hit
sold
confirm, right? You can
10,
delay the
count 'em,
second
10
input a
copies
good
of
amount.
Excerpt.
And you can see I'm pretty easily able to hit confirm that, right? If you want to be really sweaty about it, you can look at the health bar. And so when you see the health bar tick down, you can just press the second heavy punch. But I think it's pretty doable without even looking at the health bar as well. Yeah, good point. This is minus, so don't do it up close.
I may
you will
be
get punished. But in this range, it's very, very strong.
I'm shaking it,
The other
so
thing
it's
that makes
fine.
this very strong is that if you have poison on them, which a lot of her specials apply poison, you get a combo after, right? This is the go-to combo I do, just because it's very easy. There's like sweatier versions you can do.
I've had a few people want to dump
you see, you don't really get that much extra damage.
Yeah. This was
Crouch heavy
I was
punch,
literally
so
just
every
I
character
was
in this game
offended.
has their
I
sweep
was
on
like,
crouch
damn.
heavy kick. Aki's
bro?
different because she's weird. She has hers on crouch heavy punch. It's actually a pretty good sweep. The bad thing about the sweep is it moves you forward, which means it's like easier to punish.
Down here, I'm
but
gonna
it's
put my
also not as negative
stuff, and
as
when
some
I
sweeps.
exit
Basically,
rank, I'll
mostly
put
a
the
whiff
date.
punish tool if you like a big brain read that they're walking back. heavy kick. Now this normal is quite good. It has the most block stun out of any normal you have, and you can cancel it. So it cancels in a lot of different options, fireball, stance, etc. We'll get into all of that, but this is like one of your main combo starters, and it's also your shimmy normal. So this reaches from shimmy distance, and you get a full combo off that.
Throw escapes are
Crouch,
pretty
heavy kick. This is an interesting normal. This is one for primary anti-airs, along with stand heavy kick, right? So that's a strong anti-air. This is a strong anti-air. On counter hit, you can sometimes link a sweep if you're in the right distance. There's some like meaty setups where this will hit low, but I don't think any of them are good. This is like a low on the later active frames for some reason. I have no clue why, but I don't really use it. Oh yeah, forward heavy punch. So this is pretty good. So again, if you're playing against Aki, where do you want to play, right? You either want to play in this distance where your mediums are strong, or you want to play outside the 5 heavy punch range, right?
But
this is your answer to people playing outside that range. Doesn't seem like you get that much damage, but this is super cancelable. So I wouldn't really do this normal if I didn't have super, but if you have super, you can kind of hit confirm. This is a tough hit confirm, but it is somewhat doable. It is somewhat consistent, and you get really good damage for a really far-reaching poke. The issue of this poke is that, well, it's easy to jump on, and Aki gets jumped in on a lot, so you have to be a little careful about that. Yeah, so 6 heavy kick. This is a pretty good move. Mostly use it for like Oki setups, right? So if you're like let's say you do a safe jump, you're point blank, do the forward heavy kick. The cool thing about this is you're still plus, so you can do like a jab target combo and that frame traps, and it keeps you safe. If you want to be really plus after a drive rush and you know they're not checking you after the drive rush, you could do that. I generally don't like that.
Because
I pretty much only do that for a safe jump, or
even if I
like
just
I'm trying to be like really cheeky during Oki. But like even if it's like hits over here, it's plus and you get a combo from stand medium punch, and obviously it's you know the drive rush and the big boy damage. So it's a pretty good normal, but you don't like really use it in neutral, mostly for offense. All right, so jump ins, jump jab. I don't think I've ever used this in my life. Maybe it's good air to air. Jump leg kick is one of your cross ups. This is a pretty good normal. Do keep in mind that like if you cross up at like the apex, like you're 0 frame advantage, so you have to like mash jab or something after. Jump medium punch. This is an air to air. Actually has a juggle point, which is like kind of weird, but it's like really hard to like hit it. But as you can see, like if you hit at the right height, you can juggle like a H slash, or you can get like a drive rush combo. You have to hit it like this weird height. I don't think I've ever landed this in match once, but you know, in theory, there's probably some use for it. Jump medium kick, it's okay. It has a pretty good downward hitbox, but I feel like her heavy punch and heavy kick jump ins are just better and have more block stuns. So that's typically what I do. Jump heavy punch has the best hitbox, or at least I've had the most success with it in match. So I'll mostly jump in with jump heavy punch. You also have a down heavy punch as well. This like exclusively hits cross up, so think of like 𝑰𝒏𝒕𝒂𝒕 from KOF. Has a very good cross up hitbox, way better than jump leg kick. The issue with the cross up is that it does not hit in front. You have to be really careful of the spacing. If you're just trying to like not doing it on like a non setup and you're just doing it neutral, this will happen, and then maybe you'll get like jabbed out or something. All right, so she has a lot of specials. I'm not quite where to start, but we'll start with her probably your best special, which is this fireball. Core circle back leg punch. The reason this fireball is really strong is you can dash behind it, you can get pressure, you can get combos, you can drive rush. It's basically your party starter in neutral. It's very strong. However, it does have some weaknesses that other fireballs don't have in this game. So it's a little slower. It's about 5 frames slower than your normal fireball that like someone like Ryu would have. But the issue is that you don't have a DP. So if you jump over fireball, Ryu, you get DP. Now, Aki doesn't really have a DP. Your closest thing is level 1 super, but it's a lot slower than DP. So that's like the one disadvantage of it. It's more susceptible to being jumped on than other fireballs, but in turn is a lot easier to follow than other fireballs. And it also poisons the enemy. So let's talk about poison. The poison will slowly tick down their health. As you can see, their health bar is slowly decreasing, very slowly, to the point where it doesn't really matter that much, right? And it seems if you're wondering what's the point of applying poison, and the thing is, it makes your hits way more threatening, right? So compare stand heavy punch when you're not poisoned, when you are poisoned, double damage, and you actually get a OP situation, right? Which means that you're going to tack on potentially more damage as the game continues. So very strong. And many moves have this additional effect.
During recess and my lunch
this move is quite good. So the main advantage EX Fireball has is it recovers 8 frames quicker, so it's a lot harder to jump in on, and it's easier to like follow up, and you actually get damage off this too if it happens to hit.
Like, okay, so you know how some people
actually,
write
I
their
forgot to cover this
like
move.
This,
Core circle
like,
back, forward punch,
any
because
letter
this move
with
is
the
trash.
tail,
I
like,
literally
kind
have
of,
no
like,
clue where to use it.
flare it
Leave
out
a
like
comment
that.
down below if you found the use for this. The description says it's supposed to beat like low profile moves, but it doesn't even do that. So
you get
like,
the point, right?
I don't know, bro. Actually, no, I did find one use for this. This will frame trap.
Like
so let's say you do something like this.
She's like, no.
If you delay it enough, you can frame trap.
This.
But it's like kind of hard.
Like
so maybe there's some application, but it's also minus 16, so it's like, it doesn't seem that good.
So
EX in theory, it's the same thing. There's probably like a combo you can use in, but honestly, if you're new, don't worry about this move. So getting that poison
even with
onto
like
the opponent
capital
is really
letters,
important. That's where this move comes into play. So when you play good
like
opponents, a lot of them will sit back and they'll just try to parry the fireball. And you might be wondering, like, how do I punish this passiveness, right? Well, one way is just to drive rush in. The other way is to throw this puddle. And so if you know they're going to be patient, if they just walk over this puddle, they get poisoned, right? Which means that they're taking damage, and your risk reward on like pokes and other things goes up. This is also used for in setups, right?
But,
so let's
yeah,
say
so she made me stay in on my on the recesses and at lunch,
and we'll talk about that later.
To literally write the entire time, and also like I'm 6 years old,
this is mostly user combos,
give or take.
But it's also safe on block, right?
And
so if you're like looking for a thing like that's very easy to like frame trap with after jabs,
she would tell me to rewrite it if it started going crooked.
So basically frame traps and combos.
She's like,
also
it has to be straight. And no guidelines or anything. It was literally just a blank,
so let's
like
talk
how
about
this poster was in the
last
beginning.
move, core circle forward
and she's just
punch.
like, it can't
this
be
move is
slanted.
very,
You have to
very
write
good.
on a straight line. So you know, this is PTSD coming in handy.
Is that it's a lot quicker. This is unreactable.
Honestly.
So if they're just like parrying or like shimmy in this distance, they'll get
crazy?
hit.
What's
it's
her
also
problem?
not as susceptible to jumps, right? So think of this as like a mid-range poke that
and then also
poison.
like
It's very good.
I also like to write in all
like
capital
Cammy,
letters
where you can't really
too,
throw the
like
fireball out as
caps.
easily because they can just invul through it. This move, however, is very good
for
stopping these kind of characters in
and
the
then
disadvantage is that if you whiff it, you can't actually die. You drive rush in. Like if they're really cracked.
Do you know what also letter was bullshit?
It's not the easiest thing to do. Medium lash, this is mostly used for combos. Again, this is one of the moves that if poisons, it kind of crumples, which means you get additional damage
I still don't
after.
Understand like this whole thing.
I think in theory it could like stop neutral jumps, but it's so slow, it's so like high risk, low reward that you shouldn't really do it in neutral.
The only time I ever see this people use this G is when it's like
anti-air. Now
Google.
this
you know, it's certain
much on
fonts
hit.
that
It's
have
also like
G's
harder
this.
to do, and sometimes like if they're in this range, it'll just whiff. But you do need to do this sometimes.
My elementary school teacher made me sit on my left hand and write with my right.
It's also if they're poisoned,
oh my God,
you get a lot more damage off your anti-air.
You were left-handed.
There's a few different routes you can go, but the whole point is you get Oki and you get like double damage if they're poisoned. So when they're poisoned, you really want to be looking for this anti-air. But it also covers a different angle than some of the other anti-airs. It's also your kind of combo ender of choice because it leads into a really good knockdown situation. All right, so core circle back move. This move is decent. So as a couple purposes, one, this move is extremely good in burnout. So if they're ever burned out and you just cancel into this is +1 on burnout, which means that like
the goals are almost
this is like really hard to stop, like just doing shit like this. As you can see, there's like barely any gap there. The other thing, it's really good for like going over pokes. You know how people will like counter poke you after your block strings. This is a very good way to beat that. And on punish counter, you can just link a jab after into a combo. It's also really good for like baiting a throw tech. So like for example, a lot of people will like try to delay throw tech on a dash ward or something like that, and this will also beat that, and it's safe on block. So it has a lot of uses. This light kick version is very good. Medium kick I don't really use much, mostly if you're trying to go over something in neutral. Heavy kick is pretty good like anti-fireball option, but they are all -3, so all the opponent has to do is block and then take their turn. These can also be stopped by like anti-airs, right? So you can stop it in a number of different ways. Anti-air is one. The other thing is you can crouch DI, so you just crouch and then DI, and then you get full combo. Don't stand DI this because
my goals. Okay.
It'll break the DI. I generally don't throw this out too often because it can be kind of risky. Now the EX move, I think the EX version is very, very good. This looks
DI
like a grab,
reaction
but it's not
slash
actually a grab.
counter.
It only grabs
Do
on hit.
intentional
But the main thing is that one, it's harder to
back roll
anti-air,
recovery
but
on
two,
wake
it's
up.
plus on block, which means you
Win
get like a
5
straight
ranked
throw mix-up.
matches.
You can go for
Execute
a throw,
a
you can go
basic
for a
combo.
crouch leg kick, you can go
Execute a
for
parry.
this, which will beat like a
Make
delay
someone
tech.
one
You have
and
tons of
done.
different
Look at, we
options
already got
after it.
that
This
there.
move is really good.
Execute
And
5
it's actually
throw
like quite hard to
escapes and
anti-air,
show up
right?
even
Like
if
especially
I'm
if you're not
tired.
looking for it. Like I tried to
Some of
anti-air
these are
there, I just got
difficult.
hit.
Which one?
So the way you
Maybe
beat
this
this,
one?
of course, is a crouch
this one?
DI, and it's actually pretty
Maybe
hard to
that
crouch
one?
DI too. You have to like really time it.
Maybe
I tried
that
it
one?
there. So you can
Maybe
see
this
like
one, this one,
if
this
it's
one,
hard
this
for
one?
me in training mode,
This
it's gonna be really hard for the opponent to deal with in an
Really?
actual match. The other cool thing is you can
Well, it's good that they're not all too
steer
easy,
it,
right? It
So if
means
you
I
hold
can
back
progress
in EX,
with-
you go not
with
very far.
this,
If you hold
you know?
forward in EX, you go really far. And if you just hold neutral, you go like medium distance. Be a little careful
So, it's
going
fine.
all the way, because if they're crouching, you just die. So generally, I like to just do the neutral version because it seems to be the safest most of the time. But if you're trying to like catch a fireball or something, you'll want to hold forward. It takes a little practice to get used to.
I'm
Horizontal
in
forward
rookie right
kick
now.
is a command dash,
So-
3 different distances. This goes nowhere. This goes somewhere.
We'll
this
do-
goes even further. Honestly, these moves are not that great because it's pretty slow, and all you have to do is jab. The reward's not really there. You have to like really catch them sleeping, but if you go under stuff like fireballs, you can like punish a fireball with this. So I generally don't recommend using these moves too often outside of like a once set kind of like surprise. This move's a lot better though. So this move can like fake with this, right? So like think about on knockdown. So this is kind of hard to distinguish from this, and see how it pushes you out, and that's pretty good. The other thing is that it looks like your stance, which we'll talk about the stance in a bit. This
spell
looks like the
bronze.
start
Is
of
bronze
the
with a
this.
Z?
They both go really low to the ground,
So
so if
fucking
you're trying to beat someone with that
embarrassing.
stance, you can do
It
the
is
core
with a Z.
circle leg
Bronze,
kick version.
bronze.
Now the
No,
EX version,
yes,
this is your
Z.
reversal.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fully invo reversal, except
I'm
to
so
grabs.
sorry.
So in my opinion, this is not
Okay,
as
welcome,
good as
yeah.
a normal
Hello,
reversal.
hello.
Because you don't have like a good option to stop
the
throw.
DI
Your only
reaction
option to
and
stop
throw
throw
escapes
is
are really
super,
hard 'cause they're
so
things
you
that
have to be a
depend
little
on your-
careful with it. But it's very
Yeah,
good in the corner,
but it's
right? Because you
okay.
can get out of the corner and out their corner.
I can still
and it's
do
also
it,
like good situations like this,
You know how many
right?
times
like,
I got
let's say
thrown
like
when
they
I was
jab a few
playing
times
the
and they can't
little
like
ranked
really throw
match-
from
like
that
the ranked
situation, then you
placement
can kind of
matches.
like it's sort of easier
got
to get
thrown
out.
so many
Another thing
times.
that's really cool,
So-
for some reason her light fireball is cancelable
this
with
shit,
EX slide. This
you
shit is
know?
like really, really good. And so,
Bronze.
like, you know,
Gotta
oftentimes,
scroll
like,
up
people
to
try
where
to parry the
so I can
fireball,
put this in.
and you can beat the parry, canceling this in the EX slide. So this is like one of your main ways to neutral skip. Oh yeah, so the stance. So this stance is really good. You have a command grab out of it, but this command grab is really slow. You see 42 frame command grab. So you might be wondering, like, how am I ever going to hit someone with a 42 frame command grab? Well, you have a couple different things you can do out of this stance, right? You can fake the stance and you can cancel it. But the main thing you're going to be doing is this kick version out of the stance. This kick move is insane. So let's say I cancel from stand heavy kick. This combo's on hit. Let's say they're blocking. This is safe on block. And if you do at the right spacing, you're like out of throw range. So being -3 outside of throw range isn't that big of a deal. And let's say they are mashing. You beat the mash and you get a full combo, right? So yeah, this move is quite good. And so the idea is you convince them not to mash after a move on block, like stand heavy kick, and then you go into the command grab, right? You can also do this like meaty from like certain moves. So for example, after like H lash, you can do shit like this and out command grab. So that's cheap. It'll beat like mash and stuff. And the way you fake that is you just go into this light dash that we talked about earlier, right? That'll be safe against DP. That'll be safe against whatever. But let's say they are delay poking, right? So they block this.
Put legend on here.
And they beat the command grab. So how do you deal with this, right? So if they're delay poking, that means you're effectively plus after the stand heavy kick, right?
Probably won't
You
happen.
can also like try to frame trap
Honestly,
by delaying this kick. So there's a lot
if
of
it's
ways you can beat
anything
like a
like
delay poke.
Apex-
I also forgot to talk about this move. It's mostly combo filler, but
gonna be stuck here.
it can go through fireballs as well. All right, now I think I've covered everything. All right, so super is level 1 super.
I'm rookie 3.
It's your standard
oh my god, I'm already
super.
halfway there.
You have to represent sometimes because people are going to want to throw you because this is throw involved.
So
make sure you do this sometimes on wake up. It is a little slow, which means that sometimes like if your opponent's good, they can meaty jab you. Obviously, you can try to perfect parry this, but a meaty stand jab from a lot of different characters will deal with Aki's wake ups very well. Super is a pretty good anti-air if you're like at this range.
So once you hit,
so like sometimes like if they jump over a fireball, you won't have like the time to anti-air normally, but you can anti-air with level 1.
Oh, okay, so it's 1,
that
2,
super
3, 4,
also
5.
poisons on hit. The level 2 super
that makes
sometimes
sense.
used in this combos, but it's also going to be very good anti-fireball. So you have 3 different versions of super. Light version goes really close, medium version goes medium distance, and heavy version goes full screen. And you can react to some fireballs with this and get a punish. Also very good for burnout chip, and it's pretty safe on block too. Also leaves this puddle, which just does normal poison damage as well. Level 3 super, this is like your cash out super. It's super cool.
No,
it can also go through fireballs, but you have to be like pretty sweaty. It doesn't have the best range, but it's your standard level 3. Also lets you basically put out a fireball too, so you can like reset the situation. So I use her supers probably in like pretty equal distribution. I think the general rule of thumb applies to Aki as well. If you have level 3 in a combo early in the game, use it. Level 1, level 2 super, use it to kill. Level 2 super to throw fireballs. Level 1 super to reversal sometimes.
I'll just put today's date.
Let's talk about combos. In all my guides, I always recommend not to learn that many combos, right? Because they can be very overwhelming for new players, and the most important thing is to learn how your moves work and how to get the combo hit in the first place. That being said, because of this poison mechanic, there's actually a few combos you need to learn with this character before you really get started. Now, the basic bread and butter is just jabs into this. If they're poisoned already, you can do a light lash after. But what I like to typically do is I like to do Drive Rush because I think this character is meant to be played as a more offensive character. And I almost always spend Drive Rush unless I'm low on drive in order to get that additional damage and additional Oki. Now there's a few other combos you need to learn, but they kind of all have this link in it, which is you do stand heavy kick, stance cancel into immediate kicks, jab jab, and then you just end with the same combo, right? Now this is your punish counter after DI. It also just happens a lot in pressure, right? Because like even just on their knockdown, if you do this sequence, it's really good and just kind of it's very autopilot-y, very strong, and beats smash. Beats a lot of things beginners want to do. That being said, on punish counter, you can get a little bit more damage, and sometimes you're like not close enough to do this. That if you do quarter circle back heavy kick, and you can link into light lash as well, and you get a little bit more damage that way, and it's also like super consistent compared to this, which might whiff and then you're just really sad. Pretty much any drive rush off a medium, this is a very common situation where you'll do like drive rush medium punch. You'll almost always go into stand medium kick. On block or hit, doesn't matter, that's your best option. Now if this happens to hit, you do the same exact combo. Stand heavy kick into the dragon lash, right? And if you ever drive rush a jab, like something like this, where you just kind of tack on that part into the beginning. The most common super cancel you have is doing this into level 3. This is probably the most common way I cash out my meter. So like pretty much after all of your bread and butters,
sometimes it does summon cats. Right now
you do the H lash and you cancel it into level 3, and that's the main way you cash out. And that's pretty much it for mid screen. It's the same in the corner, except I think there's one combo you should learn. And it's if you get this H lash for whatever reason. So let's say I get this, you get a quarter circle back heavy punch, right? So you get to tack on a little extra damage, but you can actually tack on a lot more. So drive rush cancel into this punch, and that does chunks. And you see how it says plus 84, which means you can like set up pretty much whatever you want. So what I recommend is doing something like this. and then you get a setup, right? You can
That's
throw
a
a
pretty good
fireball.
name.
You can do this fake command grab. You can go for the
What
command
did you
grab.
name the kitties?
You pretty
I
much
forgot. No,
have
you're good.
the ability to do
all-black
whatever you
one
want, and they're
is
poison.
Lenore,
So it's
and the
a
black
very,
and
very
white
strong
one
setup.
is
You'll run
Lilia.
into this a lot because pretty much all of her combos lead into you being poisoned and them being cornered. Then you just get free damage in the corner. So make sure you learn that combo too. And that's pretty
And
much it,
Lenore
right?
is
You
named
can also, if you want to
after,
cash out, you can go into like
Lenore
pretty
from
much
the
any
Raven,
super
the
here
Edgar
too.
Allan one. Then Lilia is named after my favorite character from Twisted Furry.
So you just drive, rush, crouch, medium kick into whatever super you want. Oh yeah, stun combo. We can teach stun combo too. Stun combo is very, very similar. So let's pretend they're stunned. Except you get an extra this move, right? And then it's the same exact sequence. Even though there's a lot of different starters, they all have like the same building blocks. This is
the
pretty
black
much all
one
you
is
need to know.
Lenore.
This is 90% of the combos that I do to get where I'm at in Masters. And obviously there's a lot more
And
combos. We'll
she's
talk
named
about that in the
after
advanced section.
the Edgar Allan
Alright, so after you land your
poem,
combos,
The
there's a
Raven.
few things
The
you
love
can do.
interest
So
in that
after
poem
this
is named Lenore.
H/lash,
And then the black and white one
there's
is
a few
named
different
Lilia
Oki steps you can do. You can do
after
double
my
dash
fave,
forward, you can do medium dash,
Twisted Wonderland
or you can do
character.
drive rush, right?
Master is
Now,
below
I
1600.
don't recommend doing double dash
Master
because
ring,
it's really
high
susceptible
master.
to throw. I mean, it's really susceptible to like a delayed.
I knew
throw
there was a
tech,
point
while
system.
this,
I was
like,
watching
kinda
stuff all
leaves you,
day.
like, a
I
little
didn't
bit
know
more
if it was
spaced
1, 2,
out,
3. I
right?
know that when you enter, you
So
start
see
at
how, like,
1500.
it's a little
points.
less close than double dash, but some people do double dash.
I'll keep it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
But I don't
because
like
it just
because
looks
it leaves
clean.
you like point blank. Now you have a few different options. Way I like to rotate after this is I'll either back up and do a shimmy with stand heavy kick.
But
I'll
I'll
do
put,
immediate
let's
stand
see,
heavy kick to like beat a mash.
let's do
Or this also sets up a perfect throw. So if you just mix up between those three options, you'll be
And?
golden. You can also drive rush. So the drive rush is like manually timed. Drive rush immediately and then like delay your overhead. And then like you can go for like a high-low, right? This is quite strong too.
Sure.
Okay, got way more damage there.
Mister.
And then you just go into the same corner combo as before. You can also get a safe jump. I don't really like
Oh,
it
shit.
because you have to not guess, but you have to react whether they're gonna forward attack. And the way you do it is like you always forward jump and then either hold down and then do either heavy punch if they stay in place or heavy kick if they
There we
cross up.
go.
But you see, like
yeah, thank you.
I still mess it up. It's pretty tricky.
Now it's notated on there.
So I got there, but
It's still 1 through 5.
Yeah, you can do something like that as well. But I personally don't recommend it. But in the corner, I think it's a lot better.
This is a cute. Thank you.
Doesn't matter which way they tuck.
I
So in
love
the
doing
corner,
stuff
I'll
like
do something
this.
like this,
I'm
into
gonna hang it
jump heavy
right-
kick, and
Oh,
then
I'm gonna
hold
have to move
back
my
in
calendar.
case they DP, and then do forward heavy kick because it combos
Or
on
I
hit.
could take down my.
And it's also +2
arrow.
and then frame traps, right? So it looks something like this, the whole sequence.
I'll show y'all where I might put it. I might have to take down the waifu, but I don't want to. She stares at me when I.
All right, so
when
general
I
strategy.
stream.
Obviously, goal of Aki is to get a hit, get the combos down, get the set play down. I think in order to play Aki, you have to have a good semblance of that stuff. But I see some people struggle in neutral, right? So what is your goal in neutral with Aki? Well, generally, it's throw a fireball. You don't want to throw a fireball
But
at
I won her
like,
from a
this
crane
range.
game,
Ground
and
start
I really
fireball
wanted
is
a
not good
stealth bow.
because that's just a free jump and your
the
defense
person
is the
in
best
front of me
blocking,
won the
right?
last
You want to
stealth
be in
bow.
like this range
I'm
to
like,
throw a fireball.
I'll
And her
still-
movement's pretty
I'll still
fast.
win.
You can
I'll
like
still go
use your
for it.
mobility to like confuse the opponent to get into this range and then throw a fireball. And once you get into this range, you throw a fireball. You can either keep throwing fireballs, or if you're at like full drive meter, you can use your drive meter to follow this up. And of course, you can do drive rush low or overhead, and that's really hard for the opponent to deal with, and they can't like mash out of it because they're blocking your fireball, right? Unless they perfect parry, but that's tough, and I wouldn't really worry about that for now. So the question is, what if your opponent doesn't let you set up the fireball, right? Because a good opponent, if you're backing up and throwing a fireball, they're gonna try to chase
Yeah.
you and get the jump in, right? And you have a few different ways to stop the approach, right? This move, very good
I like
for
the way that
hitting
he
people that are
explains
outside
things
your
and
perk
how
range.
Brian-
This is probably like your go-to because it's hit confirmable. And also if people are like drive rushing in, you want to make sure you stop, right? So stand heavy kick is quite good to stop it if you're at like
I think
a
it's
far
because they both
range,
have like kind of an upward inflection
and it leads
when
in
they're
the crazy
talking.
reward.
And that's
and
like
stand
the
medium punch
that's
is
like
very
the
close, right?
psychology
So if
of
your
like,
reactions are really good, you stop that drive rush.
you know,
and then start your offense. And once you get this one hit, you know, things just kind of steamroll from here, right? So the goal is just to somehow get that one hit, whether it's through playing neutral or whether it's through anti-air, and then just steamroll off of that. Speaking of anti-air, that's probably where a lot of people will struggle with this character. So there's like this dead zone against Aki where it's like
become an anti-air
really hard
boss.
to anti-air. You see like pretty much everything just whiffs. You don't have like a really good option. So you either have to like do jump back jab or like walk under and then do something like that. So make sure you get really good at that, and then obviously like your antis have to be on point with this character. I generally recommend H-Slash most of the time. However, stand heavy kick is probably like the easiest thing to use. And you can just cancel on the fireball or whatever. And crouch heavy kick has a lot of reward because it cancels into because you can combo in the sweep. So generally you want to do all three moves. So that sounds really good, but there's certain characters in this game that do not let you throw fireballs, or they have a fireball of their own. So I think Ken is probably the most popular example online. So you may be wondering, what do I do against Ken? I throw a fireball, he throws a fireball. What do I do? So you have a number of different moves that are good against fireballs, right?
At him,
obviously, just like trading fireballs here is not the worst thing, but you have some anti-fireball moves that Ken does not, right? So this move extremely good against fireballs. And you can dash forward twice, get Oki, and then go for whatever you want, right? And then you start the game. And as you can see, the game is quite damaging. And you can literally win off like one hit. And he's like beyond dead, right? It does require getting a good read on a fireball. But you have a couple other options against fireballs, right? This move is it looks like it should be good because it beats fireball. This is your EX Lash.
I think it's pretty
but
cute.
it's like you can't do it on reaction, right? Because you'll just die.
I'm happy with it.
But it's also safer than doing this move, right? So if you want something that's preemptive, this move can be pretty good, and obviously it leads into whatever you want, right? And the other thing is, like, of course you can slide under, and if you get a good read on the slide, right, you get a punish counter into whatever you want. And of course, like, don't be afraid to play like this game, right? Like, block a fireball. You're pretty much even, right? So you can like try to poke with heavy punch. You can try to poke with this move. You can fish for an anti-air. Yeah, you have a lot of different options, right? And of course, occasionally drive rushing in and doing like crouch medium kick or stand medium punch or crouch leg kick, all very good options. So if I could give you any recommendation as a neutral, it's to mix up your options. Don't be too predictable with your fireballs because you'll get jumped in on. And if people are jumping in on you, then you don't need to throw fireballs because you can just focus on anti-airing them and steamrolling after that. Offense, pretty much what I told you guys. Land this, do good mix. Make sure you shimmy a lot because their shimmy normal is really good because like even on block, you have a lot of different cancel options between fireball,
feels
and
like
stance cancel and doing nothing. So make sure you shimmy a lot of this character, and your reward's like super crazy off shimmy. Oh yeah, especially like if you're new to the game. Like let's say they do wake up, drive impact, which is like really bad high level.
No, you're good.
This will go under. And you get a full combo. Pretty funny. But yeah, make sure you're using this a lot on offense. And like after it's blocked, like one of the best things you can do, like let's say this is blocked, just do a delay tech or just like walk back, or you can go for like a perfect parry or something after that's blocked. You know, defense, of course, just mix in the level 1, mix in the EX reversal, and just have good fundamentals, right? Do a lot of delay tech, do a lot of delay jab. When you're in the corner, occasionally try to jump out with this move. It's pretty good for like anti-shimmy. That's mostly it. By the way, if you guys made it this far and this guide is useful, consider like, sharing, and subscribing. Really helps out the channel, helps me make more guides like this. Usually these guides don't do as well as some of my other easier to make content on YouTube. So I do this for you guys. I do this to help people get into the game, and definitely appreciate any support you guys can give me to help me make more guides like this. All right, so advanced section, there's a lot of cool stuff here. So here's some of the things that I marked down that I need to learn. Right, so if you hit a immediate throw and they jump over you, pretty much your only option is H-Slash, right? And you can get really good damage off of this H-Slash. I showed you guys a very basic combo, but this is an example of additional combo you can do. As you can see, you can get crazy damage just for punishing someone from jumping out of the corner. Very strong. All right, this is an example of a optimal DP punish. Now, I didn't really talk about using this EX chain in combos because it's more of like a meter dump move, but a lot for like truly optimal meter dump combos end up using that EX chain. And you can see there's a lot of cool drive rush links you can do to punish things a little bit more optimally.
Get in there.
This tech I thought was just like straight cool. So this is an example of a slightly more optimal DP punish combo, but it's also hard. You have to like sometimes micro walk there. But this crosses up. So if you guys didn't like actually check out what happened there, this EX move pulls them out of the corner, and then you can cross up, and yeah, they just die for it, right?
Ooh, look at this bubble.
This is a what I call max damage stun combo. So of course you throw the puddle down and do some more drive rush links. And I don't even know if this is truly optimal, but this is the most damaging combo that I found online. Yeah, usually if you get the stun, they're going to be quite low health anyways. So this is definitely on my to-do list to learn. This is a more common situation than you think. People just get hit by EX Fireball. And this is a way to convert off of it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I gotta learn that myself. So yeah, a lot of optimization left. Obviously, matchups and stuff we need to learn. A couple of matchups I've been having trouble with are Cammy and JP, because they don't let you really set up the fireball. Most matchups, they feel pretty good. I think honestly, Aki's probably getting up like mid-tier-ish. She seems pretty good to me. Potentially better than Kim. Will I main Aki? I'm not sure. We'll see. I think I might main like dual main just so I can like deal with JP, because there's like JPs everywhere. But Aki's quite strong. I think she's pretty underrated, and we'll see where she ends up.
Hot.
All right, chat. Any questions before we finish the guide?
Can I download all your knowledge into my brain?
At all? Not really, because it's really slow.
And can you import all of your knowledge into my brain?
See, like sometimes
can we latch brain stems?
You're like out of third range, right?
That'd be great.
Like,
thank you.
Like if you're gonna get thorough, I don't know. It just doesn't seem the best. Like if I'm gonna like try to take advantage of them being really passive, I'm gonna try to go for over or low, or like try to sneak the stand heavy kick in, like a little closer because it gives me throw, or I'm just gonna go for throw. How do you deal with DI spam? DI back. Like generally, I think fireballs in general are like pretty good to hedge against DI, because like. Right, like you can just, it helps to like react to the fireball.
Wait, there's like a black one.
Because it like slows down the screen some.
I'm gonna open the red one.
But yeah, like if you're just like buffering like normals into drive rush, that's also like a really good option. Obviously just like
I shove all of these.
Just waiting. The thing is with Aki is like you want to like be back here, so like I find it's really common that like because your back walk speed's pretty good, or like your back dash is pretty good, like you'll just make it whiff, and then it's like, all right, time to punish,
iPhone is super good at learning a game.
And on offense, like you don't need to worry about DI. Pretty much all the shit's like DI safe. Oh, burnout pressure. Yeah, we could talk about burnout pressure. So the thing about burnout is like pretty much everything. This is plus. This is plus.
I've gotten better at fighting games, but I'm still
This is plus. So you can just kind of like.
But
just keep like looping these like different moves.
I'm big chilling.
Now there's always going to be a gap because like eventually you'll get pushed out because like you can't just, even though this has like no DI or like mashable gap, eventually you get pushed out after like 4 reps, right? So you have to like steal a turn, whether it's like through this so you can keep looping, or it's like through this so you can keep looping, right?
That one.
Counter strategy, how do you interact with stance?
Delay jump or
delay delay mash, pretty much. I don't know if you talked about what's your go-to puddle setup. The only time I use puddle is that corner combo. I see Kazunoko do shit like this. Oh wait. But like, it's not even guaranteed. Like it only works on neutral tech, and you give it so much damage. Like I think that's just trolling. Anyways, if you like this kind of content, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see more content, I'm actually going to be playing a lot more Aki.
Thank you.
Soon we have to join tournaments and stuff, and really feeling this character. So if you want to see more of Aki, consider subscribing. I'm going to have a lot of good content on that. And take care, y'all. Have a good one.
Thank you. It's going to play the one I was watching earlier today.
It also has a significantly larger hitbox than jumping light kick, allowing it to hit from angles where normally you'd be unable to cross up. It also does significantly more hit stun than jump light kick, allowing combos straight into heavies.
I'm thinking about putting it. I
because
have to
of
turn
its
my camera
sharp
off
vertical hitbox, it can also connect even from a very close forward jump. This can even be used as a way to punish your opponent's throw tech recovery from point blank. From very specific angles, it is possible to hit this normal as a non-crosser.
I forgot. But yeah, I have her.
This will still cause Aki to land behind the opponent, but it can be very ambiguous if spaced properly.
I have a goal list for
Okay, it's time to go through the special moves, starting with Sinister Slide,
but then my
also known as Coward
right
Crouch.
here.
This special is performed with down and any 2 punch buttons.
So I might have to take the wife down.
And it causes Aki to enter a stance where she slithers across the floor.
I don't want to. I'll find a spot for this. I
During
want to just be able
stance,
to physically
Aki will automatically move
like
forward
you
until
know?
an action is performed or she is hit out of it. While in this stance, Aki's hurtbox is significantly lowered. This allows her to avoid most projectiles, some normals, and even drive impacts.
This guy, like the way that he talks, has a very...
Aki is unable to block while in this stance, so it leaves you very vulnerable. Aki has 3 special moves that can be performed from this stance.
I don't want to say
she
it's
also can end
robotic.
The stance early by pressing up.
And maybe he's just talking like this to explain everything.
Though, since manually exiting the stance by pressing up takes 21 frames,
like, wow.
and Aki cannot block until the animation is complete.
Until the animation is complete.
Also known as Coward Crouch Roll.
He's just British. He just British.
This special move is performed by pressing any kick button while in Coward Crouch stance.
Yeah, near
It's a 2-hitting kick, and it's also safe on block at -3.
Excuse Broski, he's
on
British.
Hit, this move is +4,
British.
allowing links into
we have to have a bunch of guides for Tekken.
Kick.
We only got guides recently for a street. Oh.
On counter
Oh,
hit,
he
you
just
can link
always
into stand
sounds like
medium
this?
punch.
Oh.
And on punish counter,
I
you
thought
can
it was
link
like
into
maybe
stand medium
because
kick.
he was explaining stuff. Maybe he was like trying to talk like
This move is a
kind of
cool combo
monotone.
tool for
I don't mind
Aki.
it.
Most of the time, it will be comboed into directly from standing heavy kick.
Good to know though.
You can also combo into it using a counter hit or punish
Oh shit, I
counter
hit my mic,
medium
my
punch.
bad. But I think he's very, compared to, I was listening to a lot of Brian.
As mentioned earlier,
and then like
this move
Diaphone
is
too, they
also
have a
a
similar
frame trap
like
if cancelled
speech
into from
pattern.
stand heavy kick,
So like
beating
going from
any normal on
them,
startup.
where they're just like, you
want
want to learn how to do this? Yeah, we could do that.
And they hold up, it will also lock
You want to
into
do
the floor
this?
for a full combo.
You want to do that? You know, it's like difference.
However, unlike forward heavy kick, this move is a special
Everybody's
move, and
meeting
therefore it
each
can be
other
cancelled
in the
into a level
chat
3 to
tonight.
protect you.
How beautiful is this? Everyone's seeing their friends. But yeah, I need to figure out where to
Crouch
put
roll
this,
can
but
also
it's so
be used in
cute.
certain juggle combos. It's not the most juggle-friendly move, but it's definitely workable.
I'm really happy with it. My idea that I had for it with the bubble stickers and everything and the chains came out good.
Entrapment, also known as her command grab.
Good job. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna post a picture of it later. I'm happy with
This move is
it.
performed
Maybe
by
I should
pressing
play
light
the
punch
game
and
for
light
a
kick
little
while in
bit.
Coward Crouch stance. This move is a real
Saber,
command
welcome.
grab,
Yeah,
meaning that
hello,
it can't be teched like
hello.
a normal throw and can only be avoided by
Those look
jumping,
nice, thank
backdashing,
you.
or using invulnerable moves. I think this move
Oh,
should
I
be
have a
used
journal
sparingly
too.
due to the high risk, but it's an important part of
Where
Aki's mix-up game. Aki's command grab is very useful to punish people attempting to either parry or drive
Some of
impact
it
or
is
strings, especially
useless
if you condition
now.
them first with Coward Crouch Roll.
It's for 𝒂𝒐𝒕 from 𝒖𝒐𝒕. It's my Kaibul.
It's worth
I found
mentioning
hope.
that Aki's command grab has a very slow
And I drew
animation.
him
and it's
from
also
memory.
worth mentioning that poison damage will tick throughout this entire animation,
And then,
which will
oh, I had a
noticeably boost
table
the
of
damage if the
contents
opponent
here.
is poisoned beforehand.
I have movements. And then
Just as a fun fact, this move inflicts
air
1,852 damage,
movements.
which is an oddly specific amount. The reason for that is that on punish counter, this
I
move
had
will
some
inflict
notes back there.
2,222 damage, which is a cute
I
little
had a really
reference to,
tiny notebook. I
Fang's
don't know what
obsession with the
happened.
number 2. Venomous Fang. Venomous Fang is performed by pressing any punch button while in Coward Crouch stance. Aki will dive at the opponent, traveling almost full screen and knocking the opponent down on hit.
I'll have to find my other
Aki is
notebook, but I
invulnerable to
literally had a
projectiles
notebook that
during
had like
almost the entire
explanations
dive,
for
making
like
this move an extremely potent fireball punish.
what different terms meant, like fuzzy and meaty and all that type of stuff.
Fireballs with low recovery
I do want to make one for
difficult to
Aki
punish on
though,
reaction,
because these
especially from long
journals,
range.
like they're just like dot line journals.
Also,
they're like
this move is
$5.
extremely unsafe if blocked.
So I like buying them because you could like customize them really quick,
On
like
hit,
easily.
Venomous Fang will also inflict
You
poison.
could draw and
The
stuff, so
opponent
it's
is
like
already poisoned.
yeah,
This move will
fuzzy,
activate
meaty,
two different toxic
all that
blossom
type of
effects
stuff.
depending on the opponent's current state.
Yeah, the Kaible.
If the opponent is
You
grounded
swear to tell
and
the whole
poisoned,
truth
the
and
move will
nothing but
crumple
the
them,
truth, so
allowing
help
many
you.
combo conversions.
Kai. So
If
help
the
you,
opponent is airborne
Illyricum.
and poisoned, the move will
I
send them
do.
into a tumbling state.
A lot of
While
people have
this
to
state
push
may
pros
appear
to
visually similar
make
to a
content for Street
knockdown,
Fighter in
you
general.
should think of it more like another type of juggle state.
Is that the
and you can
Empreg
reliably combo
emoji?
afterwards, depending
I
on
like
the
using that
situation.
emoji when I'm full. Like I just had a good meal. Happy birthday again, Ainya. Can't wait to see your dance video later on today. You worked hard.
You can also
Thank
choose not
you.
to continue the
Thank
combo
you so
from this
much. Are
tumble
you going to
state
bed?
and
Good night,
instead
sleep
take
well, sweet dreams.
advantage
Thank you
of
for the happy birthday
extremely long
wishes.
knockdown time in order to set up Oki.
Yeah, it's my birthday on the East Coast. Hehe. My birthday in 2 hours. Well, 1 hour and 58 minutes,
Finally,
but who's
Venomous Fang
counting?
can be used as a very situational anti-air. It does not have a particularly good anti-air hit.
Is there an
box,
entire
but it
page that
travels
just says
quickly and it
stun
can sometimes
tipper?
snipe full screen jumps,
No, but there is one that says
particularly
Greed
against the
Sever.
Fireball trap.
Greed Sever! Greed Sever!
Nightshade Pulse, also known as Aki's Fireball. This move is performed by using a quarter circle back plus a light punch.
Early happy birthday, thank you. Let's fucking go. Happy birthday, Ainya. Thank you, thank
Aki
you.
throws
Happy
a
early
single
birthday, thank you,
projectile.
thank you.
This projectile inflicts poison
Yeah, I'm
on hit
turning
only.
an age.
This Fireball has some of the worst frame data of any projectile in the game at 52 total frames. So it often struggles to compete in a traditional Fireball war.
Hadouken, Hadouken.
This Fireball
It is rather
also
slow.
quite susceptible to jumps and
I
drive
noticed that
impacts.
too.
On the flip side, this projectile travels extremely slowly, and because of that, I think it should be thought of not so much as a zoning tool, and more as a shield
rather
to
shorter
safely approach
stream.
behind. Particularly when combined with
I
Aki's
do have a
incredible
couple
drive
things
rush.
I need to do before I get ready for bed.
This can
So
be done both in neutral and as an Oki
I have to
option.
cook and clean and shower and stuff before I get ready for work tomorrow. So I need to get on
Aki's
that.
Fireball can be cancelled into two different
But
follow-ups.
thank you everybody for
She
hanging
can
out with
cancel
me and
into
chatting with
Nightshade
me
Chaser from frame
and
30,
keeping me company when I made my goals.
and she can also
and
cancel
I'll
into
take a
OD
picture of
Snake Step
this.
from frame 36.
And I'll take a picture of it too when
These
I
will be
find a
covered in
home
more
for it.
detail with their
But I
respective
want to find a good
sections.
spot for it. Thanks for the
Aki's
stream. Thanks for
Fireball also
hanging
has an
out.
OD version. This
Thanks
is performed
everybody
by inputting
for
2 punches instead of 1.
spending your Tuesday with me.
The OD
Thanks for the
version
fun
of
stream.
Aki's
Thanks for
Fireball
hanging. Thanks
has
for
2 hits
hanging.
rather than
I
1.
appreciate it.
It also has significantly less
Happy birthday,
recovery and knocks
thank you.
down on hit.
Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna find
This
somebody to
Fireball
raid,
functions
so
similarly
please
to the
stick
regular
around
one,
for
but it's
that.
much stronger as both
And I'm
a
gonna
zoning
stream
option
tomorrow
and as a
night
shield to
too,
approach behind.
after I have like dinner and stuff with my family. But I'll be
The
streaming
OD
on my
version of
birthday.
Fireball is also +1
So
on
I'll see you
block,
again
even
tomorrow
from
too.
point
Yeah,
blank,
yeah, yeah.
making
Be
it
there, be
useful in
square.
pressure strings.
I think I'm just gonna chat, but I also might just play Street Fighter. We'll see. But
Like
have
the
a good
regular
night,
version of Fireball, the
everybody.
OD version
What's in
can
your
also be followed up with either OD
bio?
Nightshade Chaser
good night, broski. Good night.
or OD Snake Step.
Where's my
Note
thing?
that the OD version of
What's in your
Nightshade Chaser does not cost any
bio?
additional drive
Yippee.
gauge.
Good luck with your journey. Let's play some. Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning
Join
that OD Fireball can
if you
cancel
want
into
to,
OD
my
Snake Step
Discord,
slightly earlier than her
baby.
regular Fireball.
PM.
Regular Fireball will cancel on frame
But what's in your
35,
bio now?
while OD
Yippee.
Fireball will cancel on frame 32.
I can't find my ending screen in OBS. Oh, there it is. Yippee! Oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to type for a channel. Oh well, I'll just hit the good old follow button. Dun, 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 dun. My mic is not muted, but that's okay. So I'll send y'all to Shine, Street Fighter 6. Alrighty, y'all. Sleep well, sweet dreams.